Recently, for some of the low-cost carrier flight, LCC, when I was last boarding was on June from Kuala Namu International Airport, Medan, North Sumatra to Jakarta, Cengkareng, with same airline. The issue was when I was on boarding and waiting to take off, the aircon was off. The aircon was off, maybe as a cost efficiency of the fuel. Is it will be any impact of the poisonous material if the air conditioner was off from boarding the passenger till takeoff, and the aircon will be open or will be activated after takeoff? That's it, especially on the low-cost carrier airline.
Good question.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's special on low-cost carriers. They do this to save performance in the takeoff. If you have a short runway and it's very hot and you have a heavy airplane, you need more power to take off in order to meet the requirements for takeoff performance, the climb out requirements. If you lose an engine or something, you still need to be able to climb. That's why they switch off the air conditioning, because then you use less bleed air for the air conditioning, so the engine has more thrust. So it's a performance. I think it's a performance reason to do this. But I don't think this has any effect on the exposure of toxins or toxic air in that sense. What is interesting, by the way, is that the sudden rise of all these low-cost airline carriers. This was very much the moment when geoengineering went global, and when the technology was to such a degree that they could implement this global to just cover the whole planet with this program, with the deregulation of aviation, all these low-cost carriers and flying just for nothing around the planet stimulated the whole geoengineering agenda and enabled them to cover the whole planet with direct flight planning and this massive increase of number of flights. I think this is also part of it. And certain low-cost carriers have been very much proactive into the geoengineering agenda, like I think like Ryanair or EasyJet for sure, by installing hardware really on the planes to facilitate this, other than only in the fuel itself. So most airlines are not really aware because it's in additives in the fuel. But I think that EasyJet and or Ryanair had these adjustments, like really technical adjustments on the planes where they could facilitate these programs. But the low-cost carriers and this rise of this budget flying facilitated also the geoengineering agenda for sure.
What about some of the flight? This is very pity flight. 2-hour flights, no aircon. Some of the low-cost carrier have this case. 2-hour flights from Jakarta to Singapore and Jakarta to Bali will take 2 hours. Aircon inactive, completely inactive. It will be more dangerous of the toxin.
I never heard of that. An airplane has, because if the engines are running, the air conditioning is functioning, and if you're on cruising altitudes, you don't need extra performance. You can just switch on all the air conditioning packs. But if they leave that off completely, I never heard of that. That sounds bizarre.
It happened also to me once. Very hot for 1 hour, felt like that. So what's the reason? It's possible because the machine is working, right?
Exactly. But if you have a filled air conditioning pack, you have 3 packs or 2 packs, and one is filled, it's possible that there are some valves or mechanisms don't function in the system, that one system has to be shut off, but then you have another system which is operating. So there's always a little flow in the I cannot you need a little flow, also for pressurization, of course. So I cannot understand that there's no air conditioning or no flow in the plane, or
This will happen in Indonesia.
bizarre. Sounds bizarre.